The studio is full and it's a Monday. That's great. Did you have to work? You're not going to school? No, the school of the LEC.
I don't have school. I do have work.
You do have work. And Leader might be schooling some people today on the Rift.
Hey.
Hey,
transition.
Fun. Is it going to be this guy? I don't know. Maybe they both want to pick Macaulay. Maybe it's Macaulay versus Jon. Maybe it's Macaulay versus what did he play yesterday? Aurelia.
You know what we need? We need like old school OGN blind pick. I want to see some Akali via Akali. Like, could you imagine if we had Ryu versus FLICKR, Akali via Akali? Oh, that would just that would juice me up.
Lee Sin's favorite game mode, by the way.
Lee Sin's favorite game mode. Oh.
Blind, yeah.
Good one.
My bad. It was hilarious. I just didn't laugh.
This guy's a comedian.
Anyways, it's Monday Fun Day. That's what we're going to dub it. We got a little loopy yesterday making the show, but it's fine. It's going to be fine. We're going to start by talking about the bot lane, by the way. Shox, Ender, Goldberg, and Yamato. The bot lane in the LEC, it's stacked. It's amazing. So we're going to have a discussion about all the bot lanes overall, but we do want to get you involved. So if you're on Discord, tell us who is the best bot laner in the LEC right now. If you're not on Discord yet, head over to discord.lec.gg. And tell us, Goldberg, you are our resident bot laner expert. So who would you like to go with? Who has impressed you the most?
Oh, so in terms of surprise factor out of the AD carries who impressed me recently, then I would actually have to go with Koppe out of all of those.
Koppe, nice.
Just due to the fact that I actually think that, you know, Koppe is such a storied AD carry in our league, but it felt like when he went to TSM, he kind of lost a lot of what he brought in initially before he went there. Then when he came back and he was playing on Astralis, it felt like he had a hard time getting back to that point. And then recently, Winter, he started showing up together with Junghoon as well. They got a few 2v2 kills, but they were more reliable in the mid to late game. This time around, though, and specifically yesterday, the man was popping off both 2v2 kills and also in the later game where he just had pop-up performances, montage plays on the Sire. I have been pleasantly surprised by the Danish dynamite that is Koppe.
Honestly, I wanted to call out Danish bias at first because you called out Kobe first, but honestly, I had the pleasure of working with him in his rookie year, and already then he was a really, really strong player that I just knew had a strong future, but sometimes you get dealt bad cards, you know. He was always the guy who had to, in his teams, just play a late game role because he couldn't find that lane power, but now with the combination of Kobe and Junghoon, they've been dominating lanes this entire year long. Even when they went on their lose streak, they were 2v2 killing everybody, and it's continuing. It's not slowing down at all, so I'm really, really happy to see this new version of Kobe.
I'd like to add, too, that when it comes to like the team fights for Kobe as well, even last bit, the Xayah always sort of stood out to me as like even his team, like everything is on fire and he's still pumping out like ridiculous damage numbers within the team fights, positioning very strong as well. Like there are games like he's not even like playing for KDA, but like he's just not dying. It's like, okay, my entire team is dead. I killed like half of them, but it's just not enough to pull away a win. Like he has been quietly performing game after game after game.
And he's also one of those constants in the league, and I always have a lot of respect for players who have a long career and who aren't the people that have won everything, because then, I'm not saying it's easier, but when you have that motivation, you get the title, you keep grinding. But he's been, as you say, had some situations where he's been dealt some bad cards, but he kept evolving and reinventing himself when necessary, and now he's showing up. Yesterday they beat G2, and he was up versus Hansama. Hansama, who I guess before that was lauded as the best performing bot laner.
Yeah, and well, I mean, even before that, he took a little trip to NA. It was like, where'd this guy go? We need to bring him back home. What's up?
There's a common thread here.
There is a common thread here. I mean, we had so many AD carries that just left the scene in the last 12 months. They left the European scene. That is Hansama, a perfect example, going over to TL, having some mixed results over there. But ever since being reunited with Mickey in the bot lane, this duo was just the best duo during the winter split. And I just think when it comes to his lane dominant picks like the Draven, he's been on another level.
I think the key thing always is like you have to judge players by their context. Like when he was over in North America, he was forced to play Seraphine. I saw moments where he was like hovering Lucian. I want to dash in, I want to lane goods. I got Code JJ next to me, and it just didn't happen. He was always playing Jinx and Seraphine. And I think always a player can only be as good as the context allows them to be. And him now joining G2, playing together with Mickey, he can flourish again. Back in Europe, playing European solo queue, you know, that must feel fantastic. Like he came back, wanted to prove himself instantly, just went all the way to rank 1, spammed like 500 games in the off-season. He is as hungry as ever.
speaking about coming back, Upset on Vitality had a dream start. And Yamato, do you want to repeat what you said yesterday about the Winter Split?
My goodness, Winter Split was just the biggest advertisement for Upset ever. Like Fnatic was in shambles, Mad Lions, had such struggles in the bottom side too. Vitality as well, the super roster were also struggling in the bottom side, and we're just, everyone was just waiting for Upset to come back. That of course comes with a lot of pressure, but I know that Upset is the type of person to just deliver because he gains all of his confidence through his practice. Even though, he wasn't in a team, I saw him in every Champions Queue game. He was spamming solo queue and he kept up in shape because he was waiting for his moment to strike. And him together with Kaiser, the German bot lane, it's really working out well. 2 games so far, Zion, Caitlyn. I am hoping that we even see his Draven at some point because even that is lethal.
Still haven't died yet either, so the KDA is still up there for grabs. Could go deathless the entire week. But I also think it's the fact that we saw 2 different iterations of playstyle for Vitality. In the first game they were playing for Upset down in the bot lane when they were playing that Caitlyn. Then when he was playing the Xayah, he had less resources. He was still as deadly though, nonetheless, when we went into that mid to late game. So yeah, Upset, he was greatly missed in Winter, and I think he's the one where everyone thinks who's going to rival Hensama. Well, Upset is the one you're looking at.
Well, I just love with like all these AD carries returning to the LEC. I think there's a lot of times like a discourse surrounding like, players that maybe had a rough split, have they fallen off? Players that maybe get demoted down to the RLs and have to prove themselves to find a way back. But these players have shown different ways of staying relevant, whether it's Hansama going to another region, not finding success there, but still coming back and performing. Upset, not having a team in the Winter Split, but is grinding solo queue, still very much keeping up in form. We had players also falling down to the RLs. And I think like Crowny was a great example of last year, again, struggling to find a spot here in the LEC, but continues to show that you can stay relevant even regardless of the results you have within the LEC or outside of it. You can continue to improve very hard behind the scenes.
I think there's the story of Crowny, the fact that, his first rendezvous, it wasn't that great. I think he was sharing time with Com, got replaced and so forth, and was a bit messy all over the place. He came back in, he was the so-called shot caller and so forth. And then he spent 1 year, and I think he was just cooking and boiling, watching the BDS main roster with Xmatis. Like, everyone was just thinking, why is Crowny not getting in there? And they were just saving him for this moment. And I think the timing is so good. How you transition back and what opportunity and what team is built around you, I think that's so important because the context matters. And I feel like the story of Crowny is very similar to the Adam story. They were in the LEC, fell back down to the academy, and now they've learned from their experience, and they're truly squeezing as much out of this opportunity.
We heard Adam. Adam spoke to us about how he, it was the first loss he had really in his career, getting demoted down and having to grind him back, and how much of a fire that put in him. So I think definitely for a player like Crowny and for all of our returning AD carries, it's been a big motivation for them this year.
It's been great, and it's probably also interesting for the likes of Exakik, who was doing super well, and now Upset is in the mix as well. Kavi stepping up, so it's going to be a great season for bot laners. Discord thinks that Hansama is the best bot laner. Upset second.
Reasonable, perfectly reasonable.
Not surprised.
Not surprised. Okay. Well, SK and Astralis, they seem to be unbeatable right now, and before the game, we decided to play some fun games with the players. Let's check it out. Astralis versus SK is our first match of the day, and they can't seem to lose on the Rift, so we pulled them out of the Rift. We've got Markoon and Finn, who are also ex-teamies. So, yeah, that's fun.
Teamies.
Teammates, I guess. And the reason I have gathered you here is because, well, you are doing so well on the Rift, and you're playing, so we wanted to spice it up a little bit. Now, yesterday we had a couple of delays, and we told a lot of bad jokes, and I figured you could all have water in your mouth, and then if you laugh, the water will hopefully get ejected from your mouth, and then your opponent gets a point whenever that happens. Are the rules
Sounds
clear?
good, sounds
Are
good.
The rules clear?
Sounds great, yeah.
Okay.
Should be easy.
As easy as the game, or?
Yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, good. This is great. You can put your mics down, and you can take a big sip of water, so that's really like,
Full cheeks?
I think so, cheeks, yeah. Because then even if you laugh a little bit, it like... Okay, we'll start off slow. Why couldn't Twisted Fate immigrate? Because he didn't have a green card. Close. Why did Sivir do really badly at the spelling competition? Because she can only spell shield. Okay. What's the difference? That's 1 point for Finn, I think. Okay.
Wait, I gotta reload.
Yeah, you gotta reload.
Wait, you gotta take some water.
I mean, if you make him laugh, it's also a point for you. If you have jokes. Oh, he swallowed it. I mean, good. Stay hydrated. Actually, OP strats. Okay, I thought this was gonna be more difficult, but it's fine. You okay? 1 point for Marco. 1-1. It's in your head. Oh, okay. Right. Why did Astralis not?
That was about the joke.
Astralis was the joke?
No, just in space, you know, chopping.
I mean, we didn't need...
Good
Okay.
very well. Horrible. This is horrible.
It's 2-2.
I went into my nose.
It's 2-2.
It goes in and out.
I still don't know what's funny.
I can't look at Finn, you know.
Okay, I see.
It's actually no, it's the jokes. Very good.
Okay, thank you.
Wait.
Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more. 2-2. Okay, you ready? What do Astralis and Perks have in common? They're both happy being mid. What's the difference between Valorant and Vitality? Valorant has neon. We need one. Well, what is Vane's favorite social media platform? Tumblr. Why does Timo live in a really small house? Because he doesn't need much room. What? I'm out of jokes. How are we gonna solve this? Okay. Fnatic walks into a bar. There's no pun. It's just, it's week 3, day 3, and they're out of the competition. You know, it's a tie.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. So we'll end on that note. Thank you so much. It's a tie. Back to me. Yo, yes. Oh, it came out good. I'm really happy it did.
Don't you dare look over here. Don't you.
Oh, actually, the reason we couldn't do it is because now you have a mic, so we can't do it with you. Actually, are not allowed to spit it out. Okay, for 1 minute 40. Got it. It was really good. Thank you to Markoon and Finn for playing with us. I asked them would they have done this if they were 0-2, and they were like, absolutely not. But I guess that's also fun about winning. You get to do content like this, and they're undefeated.
Yeah, I mean, you're always happy when you go 2-0, and it's crazy to think that the matchup last year, which would have been SK and Astralis, would have been a banger, but because they would have been the 2 last-place teams, now it's a banger because they're actually both competing for a 3-0 week, which is absolutely unreal to think about.
It's insane. And in winter, 3 wins was actually enough to qualify you for the group stage. So
wow.
They're on a good track, and one of them has to win today. So let's talk about what's been going well for them and start with SK, maybe Goldberg, because I only have
I'm sorry.
one analyst.
I'll take half your salary later for today. That's fine. Great. Okay, sorry, what was the question again?
It's about SK and their story so far. Super impressive throughout winter, making it to the playoffs, and now 2-0 again. So it seems that they're going on the same level as they ended.
You know, out of all the playoffs teams, SK is the one to have the best week so far coming into it here. So that, oh, you better not. Go on. Best one to have the best starting week so far with the 2-0 out of all of them. And it just speaks to the consistency and the players we have. This is so distracting.
I'm sorry. We owe it to them to be serious.
3-0. Oh my God, my.
Okay, we're going to casters.
So wait, now.